fellas, and everybody. Um, Man, very, very stoked about to introduce this next brother. We've actually got a deep history, me and the bro, before music, before everything. But we'll talk about that as he comes on. But you all know the bro, and if you don't, please get well acquainted with the brother. MELODOWNZ, straight out of Avondale. It's your boy, Bronson. What's up, G?
Hey, what's up, my brother? How are you, man?
Good, brother. How you going?
Good, bro. Just chilling on my Sunday.
It's a beautiful
Yeah,
day,
shout out.
bro. We got obviously it's always good to see you in here. I've seen you popping a bit. I've seen Shay Savage, and it's like kind of cool seeing all these new artists jumping in and out of it. And I saw you on the Trillionaire Thug thing as well.
Yo,
How are you finding the space, bro? How are you finding the NFT land, the crypto land?
man, it's quite complex for me, to be honest, bro. Like, I'm very, very new. I've only been into the space in like the last 6, 7 months. Yeah, so I'm just kind of navigating it. And when I see locals and brothers like yourself, doing their own projects, man, I always got to show love, man.
Yo, yeah, man, and it's cool with being able to speak outside on Instagram as well and just kind of chat and be like, "Yo, what's going on?" Because a lot of people that are even in this chat are quite new to this space, like even in how it can affect like music and like. So I don't know if it's the same for you, Mel, but I didn't even know that it could be a part of the music industry. When I first started, I thought NFTs were just for drawing people. So to find out that it can be a part of us as well is crazy.
Bruh, that's exactly how I felt too. Like, what drew me to the NFT spaces, because like before rap music, I was doing graffiti and drawing and stuff. So I was kind of interested in seeing all the different arts and stuff and trying to jump on like what's popping and what's doing well and stuff. And then I was like, I saw the whole potential with the music thing, and that just kind of opened a whole new world for me. And that's why I'm kind of trying to learn more about it and navigate more about it, because I feel that's going to be the future for us in terms of our of our careers. Is going to be a lot of it in this space as well. So I feel we're still kind of early, even though like it's been around for a minute. I feel we're early, especially what you're doing, bro. That's solid, Z.
Yo, man, my G. And you're right, bro. I think this is the future. Actually, before we get into the future, for anyone who doesn't know you, bro, can we go back to, let's say, we'll go to the start of you and we'll go before we go into our story, G. Go into Avondale and your beginning, just for those who don't know. So, like a quick rundown, and then we'll talk about how we actually met, bro.
Yeah, bro. So fuck, man. Yeah. So my name's Bronson, and I go by the stage name MELODOWNZ. For those that don't know who I am, and yeah, I'm just like I don't want to label myself a rapper, but I do rap music, I do art, I do poetry, I draw. So I'm kind of just like an artist, and I started my journey started back in Avondale in my grandparents' house with my mom's and stuff. She was a single solo mother. Yeah, it was kind of just, I never used to get into like rap music and shit like that, but I used to play sports. I actually played rugby and then basketball, and I started playing basketball on more of a kind of rep team kind of thing. And just being around Avondale and stuff, like I come from like a good background and a good home and stuff, but at the same time there was a lot of kind of negative influences that were around me at the time, and I kind of got caught up with a bit of that kind of stuff. I wouldn't say like hardcore shit, but I got into that youth gang mentality and bit of fighting here and there, and did a bit of like petty crime. Got into graffiti, shit like that, and then during high school and stuff, a couple of the birds, kind of, or not kind of, but yeah, they committed suicide. And for like a young in my age, like I think I was like 15 at the time, 14. That kind of it kind of had a big impact on my life and stuff. And one of the birds he got killed outside of school during some bullshit, and that was fucked up. So like I don't know, as like a young Polynesian Maori male growing up in that kind of environment, it kind of put me off in a way. I didn't want to go to school. I had a lot of shit popping off. Like my mom was like nursing my grandparents, so she was kind of doing her thing, kind of left me to my own devices. So I was a little bit misguided in a way, but I had all this built up kind of anger and shit, and my one thing that got me through it was music. So I started writing raps, started, you know, having rap battles at parties. You could always catch me at a house party in the corner with a box of Cody's, couple shorties and some of the homies, and you know. But yeah, yeah, I just started in the garage drinking Cody's, Rising Buckies, and look where it's got me. Nah, jokes, but nah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but for the most part, man, like music to me was like an outlet that I had, and I was real grateful that I had that outlet real early because I could get things off my chest where some of the other boys were getting horsed and breaking into houses and doing runners and all kinds of weird shit. Not weird, but like kind of bad shit. And you know, we get caught up with that, and we live and we learn, and we learn our lessons and things like that. So yeah, then I dropped out of school real early. Didn't really have much qualifications. Started kind of getting into the whole salesman thing. Became a salesman, if you know what I'm saying.
Wow.
In terms of selling
Yeah.
selling like herbs, natural herbs to the community.
Tomatoes, I think they call them.
Oh yeah, tomatoes. That's right. Yeah, tomatoes. Green tea. Green tea. I was selling green tea, and I didn't really have much of an income, and then I jumped on the benefit, and at the time, the government was supporting artists, and so they sent me to this thing called PACE course, which was like something arts. That was in Devonport. Went to the studio, and then who's sitting in a chair over there? It's my brother Kings.
Holy moly! And that's where we met.
And that's where I met Kings. Was at the courtesy of Wins. Was like a what was it? It was like a music course. Eh?
So it was kind of like a place. So if you're on the benefit, you had to go to these things called job seekers. So to anyone who's been on the benefit or who knows what we're talking about, job seekers like a mandatory thing you have to do to be showing that you're looking for work. And if you're a creative like myself, Bronson, and there was a bunch of us actually. There were these little courses that you could do in the creative industry, and PACE was one of them. And we were lucky enough to meet there. Yeah,
Yeah. So there was Kings. I think Team Dynamite. Lucky Lance from Team
I
Dynamite.
was one. Yes, yeah,
Yeah, he was there too. And who else was there? There was a couple like drum and bass DJs there I think a guy called Shirley. He's like a drum and bass DJ now. And
wow.
yeah, so it was like even though that was a small period of time, that course, it had a big impact on me. And what's that lady's name? G? Is it 80?
Oh, 80 kill, yeah, man. So there was this lady. She was Nisha Mystic's first manager or second manager. So we got to pick her brain, and at the time, Nisha Mystic was still like dominating.
Yeah.
So we were very lucky to have her advice.
Yeah, so that's how me and the brother Kings met, and that's been so beautiful. Like for real. Like when I say this, you know, like I'll pull out to like Pacifica, and I'll be performing at Pacifica for I think like $50 or something, and then I see the Bro Kings on stage too. So we kind of like we didn't come up together, but we kind of had a similar journey in terms of the music thing. You know, we started real basic. Like I started doing shows and at Woody's Bar and Manyarewa in front of like people that didn't even like for people that were like doing at the pokey machines and wearing hivers and stuff. You know, I was performing in front of like just the uncles and aunties and stuff, and every now and then I'll bump into Kings, and yeah, it's been cool, bro.
There's
Just
there's like a mutual love there. It's because it's kind of like seeing, like you said, it's like a brother that we didn't grow up together, but like just from a distance, like, yo, you're still going, and there has always been that I guess love between us, and that's why you offered your time here and why we continue to collab and stuff like that. So, bro, I can't thank you enough even for being here, bro. And that's so buzzy thinking about Devonport because it makes me happy, bro, to see how far we've come.
yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing, man, and that's why I encourage whoever's listening. You know, like doesn't matter your situation or whatever you're going through. It's like if you just stick to it and be obsessed with it, you get somewhere. And I feel that that's with anything. That 10,000 hours or more kind of mentality as
Oh,
well.
I was going to ask you a question, bro, about your on the journey side when you said you didn't have a crazy rough upbringing in terms of your
Yeah.
actual upbringing.
Yeah.
What was the turning point that made you turn there anyway? Because I have a similar thing where I never had to struggle for food, but I knew what that was like, if that makes sense. Like when I say struggle for food, I mean I never had steaks or anything. It was always like
Yeah.
noodles and things, but I never worried about that. But what was your point where you felt you needed to change to the tomato selling and the stuff? Like, what was there a
Yeah.
point in your life where you felt that? What it was?
I was kind of, it was when I think back, I think it was just like, to be honest, it was my own doing. Like I just wanted to fit in. Like I had come from, I went to primary school in Central, and at the primary school I was at, I was like the token kind of brown person. You know what I'm saying? Like because I'm half Samoan, Maori, and European. So everyone at the school looked at me as like I was a brown person, which was cool. I had no problem with that. And then when I moved back to Avondale, to nurse my grandparents with my moms and stuff, at the intermediate, everyone thought I was like calling me white. So like I was the white person. So I was really confused in that sense. Like I was like, shit, man, I just come from a spot where everyone's, accepting me as being like Islander. And then I go and all the Islanders aren't accepting me for being Islander. They're like calling me like Afghani and all kinds of weird shit. Cause I was like, I looked a bit Arab just cause cause I'm half, I'm not like full or whatever. Yeah. So then that kind of made me want to prove myself to people. So like I was like, I'll do things. Like I remember this dude had a problem with my friend, and I pulled up after school, and then I just knocked him out. And and then everyone was like, "What the fuck? This guy's tough." Like I was always trying to, I was always trying to just prove myself. And I think I found a group of bros that hung out at the park that I chilled at, and that's not me being like, "Oh, I want to fit in with these guys," but I just became cool with them. And at the time, like other people's situations weren't like mine. Like I came from a house where it was quite stable, and my mom like had quite a good job and stuff. But so my friends were living in state houses or whatever that the situation was. And every just like anyone, you just get caught up in an influence, and there
Yeah,
were
I was gonna say, bro, it's a real similar thing to like I think it was like surrounding pressures that made, because I had a similar thing. I think I sold green tea for a little bit.
yeah,
It's weird, kind of. It's like weird to say that on here, but yeah,
yeah, my
kind of.
bad guys, shit.
Yeah, yeah, no, no. Bro. But like, yeah, did a dabble of that and the violence thing. Like, bro, I was just saying to people before you came in, I'm doing an MMA course because of just the lack of gigs is kind of making me have to think of other alternatives mentally.
mean,
And yeah, so I've been doing this course, but I think about the violence that kind of comes with that community and how you said you knocked that dude out. Like, I remember that too. I remember trying to prove myself in that space, and yeah,
oh,
it's
actually,
crazy.
sorry, I didn't knock him out. I just dropped him, and he like ran away.
Got
But I
back.
didn't knock him out. I didn't knock him out cold. Sorry, I shouldn't. I just wanted to make myself sound a bit tougher. But yeah, I dropped him anyway.
Oh my bro. Yeah, man. Yo, but before we get into the questions and stuff, another question for you in terms of the NFT space. Are
Yeah,
you are you following any other projects, or do you have any advice for newcomers? Because as I said, there's a bunch in this space here.
yeah,
How did you navigate the new space, and could you offer any advice to the newcomers?
yeah. Like to be honest, I feel like I'm still new at this, so I don't want to give advice that might potentially empty out your MetaMask wallet. Nah, jokes. But I'm not in a position like to be like you guys should do this or that. But what I will say is I think what's really important is the community around the project, and the roadmap is very important as well. I feel, and that's what I like about your guys' stuff, and like the other communities that I'm part of is like the roadmap seems really solid and trusting. Because before I just saw artwork that I liked, and I was like, oh, I want one of those, but I didn't realize that some of those don't actually have any value, hold any value behind them, or there's no one pushing a narrative behind it. So yeah, what I can say is just make sure the community is always active, and it's something that you align with. Yeah,
Are you on what's your wallets do you use? Do you use MetaMask? Yeah, what wallets are you using at the moment?
yeah, G, I'm using MetaMask, and I'm just on at the moment. I've got crypto.com as my other wallet.
Yep.
Yeah,
Bro, did you hear? So we just had a security a post today. I don't know if anybody else in the chat, and we can hear about that after, but there was a bit of a scam going on MetaMask. And so did you hear about that?
yeah, I've heard it. Is it about like the fake website stuff and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I think they thought it was a phishing. They thought it was a phishing error, and it's only affected people on email. It's not actually in MetaMask. But
Ah, yeah,
I just thought that was a cool thing to touch on, like because that's kind of the other. I think fear for a lot of newcomers is like, how do you even secure yourself on something you don't understand?
Yeah.
And it's like scary and new. So I get for you as well. Like, how are you securing? Are you chucking in wads of cash, or are you going bits at a time, or what's your, without getting too personal, what's your kind of
Yeah.
process?
So like I don't keep much in my my MetaMask wallet, only enough for me to like be happy with. If someone was to rob me, I wouldn't be like, my life savings of Ethereum, like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be like that. I'll be like, oh man, they got me or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I only put like enough. So if something comes up on OpenSea that I really like, I can mint it straight away or whatever. But I always make sure I have like enough of what I want, but I don't put too much in. And I've just been like studying cold wallets as well. So I'm trying to. I haven't got one at the moment, but I need to get like a ledger as well.
Huge, big words. Yeah, yeah. I know what a ledger is, but even that's kind of like, I guess, the next level of learning. Because the first level of learning is kind of like that Ethereum, Bitcoin level. Then you get
Yeah,
into ledgers, then you get into contracts, and then it gets deep into Web3. If you like, it can go as deep as you need to get.
yeah,
Um,
that's it, man.
yeah, yeah. I actually saw you talking to something of Tonga, the
Lord Fasitua.
bro, and why DeFi currency.
Yeah, that's all his. I'm still getting my head around the whole DeFi swap and the DeFi market as well. Um, but yeah, it's what I think is good with that is like the security around it. And taking your wallet and making it into putting it into a cold wallet um makes you have full ownership of the coin that you have, because when you have it in like a warm wallet, it's still on the market, if that makes sense, and it still
Oh,
fluctuates. So it's like we own it, but we don't really own it until we take it fully off into like something where like a USB stick that has a code or something like that. You know what I mean?
yo, bro,
But
that's awesome, man.
I'm still
That's
learning
really,
about that too.
nah, yeah, that's the next level, man. Like that. I have a friend who's done a similar thing with USBs. He's actually very serious about it. He digs it like out in his house, like 10 steps by the left of that tree. He's that kind of dude.
Yeah,
Um, but that's only because he has his life savings on it. So,
yeah. And that's what
um,
most people are doing now. Overseas, like a lot of my music friends in LA, they're most of their savings are in crypto now. They've taken all their money out of reserve banks and stuff, and they've put it straight into crypto. And they're actually using that. They're using their if it's like their Ruby Steel card on crypto.com or their YRX card, they're like using their crypto visas to pay for things. And I reckon that's like the future.
yeah. Do you reckon it's coming to New Zealand? Do you reckon it's probably going to take a while, but you gotta. I guess do you think it's going to be in New Zealand anytime soon?
Um, I don't think like in the next like few months, but I think like soon it will be. Yeah, I definitely think we'll adapt and we'll start heading towards that way, because I feel we can't be like, I feel like the world's going that way and we're not going to be left behind as well. But yeah,
Yeah,
who knows? Who knows?
yeah, for sure. All right, man. I think we'll get into some. I'll give you a couple music questions and then I'll open the floor, bro. I think everyone's cryptoed out. They'll be like, "Hey, what's all of that DeFi way stuff?" Um,
Yeah.
Gee, how are you feeling currently about the situation with the gigs, man? How are you spiritually, mentally, emotionally?
Man, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's been quite daunting, quite hard. Like, yeah, because like obviously, like you're full time and I'm full time, and a lot of our friends are, and so when we like complied and did our part for there to be festivals and stuff, and then boom, we get hit with this thing where it's like, man, we can't even be in a space with more than 100 people, and it's like you've got your for a lot of musicians, especially in our country, it's like the first 3 months of the year are like is like the jackpot for us to make our yearly wage. That makes sense. So when that happened, man, I was just like, fuck, I'm gonna have to go back to the trap, to be honest, bro. And like, I don't want to go against my word, and I don't want to be pulling out to these youth centers and saying one thing, but then being, doing another. So like, that got me worried. I was like, man, do I really gotta get a normal job these days? But I'm quite thankful for like I think hopefully some of us can get insurance, if so. um
Yeah, there's also I don't know if you know this, bro. It'd be good for you if a government scheme has been put in place to pay you, I think, up to 80% of your gigs that you haven't got.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, bro. So things like that, bro. They all help, little things here and there. So make sure you check that shit.
yeah. So at the same time as like saying stuff the system, I thank the system as well. So I'm a bit funny. Like I feel a bit weird about what's going on with the music and stuff, and but it's cool that there's people like us and people in our community that we can go to for support, and we can support them. So as long as we have that village mentality, I feel we got to stick together, and everything will be kosher, man.
100, bro. That's kind of what this space is for us with the Eager Beavers all in here. Like when we started this kind of roadmap, or when we started this community, the whole thing was around like it wasn't that we aim to do a Mirai style, but it is just that way. Like we
Yeah.
all kind of like what we're learning off you right now, what we're learning off me, Rio, all the bros.
Man, I gotta
And all the guests
give it
that
out to
come
you.
in.
Big respect, bro. Like even I see up to Aotearoa, Morgan and Jack up in here all the time, like doing the good things, and speaking, helping with the mental health side of things and the well-being side of things. I think that's a perfect template that you guys provide for people like myself and other people that are wanting to get into the space as well. So yeah, no, shout out to you guys, man.
My G. Yeah, bro, that's the goal, man. It's to I think the mentality is different to what it used to be, I guess, even 3 years ago, where like we believe everyone can eat. We've had talks about other projects. We won't mention names, but we've had people come in from other projects damning us, and us people in our community damning them, and we've had to like pull back this thing of like, nah, we can all eat. Like this is all good. This is huge. Like it's bigger than just a little nut.
Yeah, for real,
And
for real.
yeah, and that's come through heavy. And again, it's because of people like you bring your energy to the community and anyone else before. So thanks, G, for coming through. One
Thank
more
you, bro.
question, and then I'm going to open the floor, my brother. Are you working on anything new?
Yeah, man. I just I'm pretty much sitting on my album, bro. It's like ready, and it's just
Oh, shot
waiting.
for the invite, shot for the collab. All good, matter.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, I just been sitting on it, bro. Just like a lot of the most of the songs, to be honest, with the community. I worked on a lot of them when I was in LA back in 2019. It's like 2022 now, so can't wait to
Yeah.
get these songs off the chest because I'm already onto the next project, if that makes sense. So that's like
Can we talk about collabs? Are you keeping that dealer, or is there any particular track you're excited about?
yeah, man. I got there's some collabs on there. I don't know if I can say much, but it's the community. So, but I got my favorite bass player. He played for he was in Parliament. He played for James Brown. His name's Bootsy Collins. Yeah, yeah. Got the Legend of Funk on there. I just hit him up on Insta, and like, I've been a fan of mostly his style and his aesthetic. Like the way he dresses, the way
Wow.
he carries himself. He and them Star Sequence 2 pieces, and that just kind of from a kid, I was just like, wow, this guy is the guy. So I just hit him up on Insta, and yeah, we just got on a Zoom call, and I was just talking to him about this idea that I had, and he really liked it. And it was lockdown for him at the time, so he was like snowed in because he was in Cincinnati, and so
Wow.
he literally couldn't leave the house. So I think it was all God's timing. Like I just got him at the right time while he couldn't do anything, and yeah, I just sent him the track, and he put his little magic.
Stars aligned.
But yeah,
Yo, that
yeah.
guy. I don't know if you guys just heard that shit. That's like a legend, Bootsy Collins, and you like that. Oh, man, that's so dope because that's kind of what we're talking about with community. Like, I don't
Mm.
think in 10 years ago you could reach out to Bootsy that easy.
Nah, man, not at all, bro. I was just
And that,
happy that he saw my message.
bro, I can't wait to hear that, man. That's gonna be beautiful.
For sure.
Holy moly, bro! What a gem. Um, all right. Well, that's on that. Can you give me his number and no? Um, we're gonna open the floor up to you guys. If you guys have any questions, please unmute one at a time. And if you guys could say your name before you ask the question, that'd be dope. Questions on.
Bang, Chirfana, it's the blockchain Māori. I'm not mucking around when it comes to jumping in for a question.
Let's
Brother
go.
Mello, gee, can you explain to us a bit about Lightside, brother?
Yeah, man. Sure for asking, bro. That's a cool question. So light side to me is like I don't know, with obviously there's a dark side to everything, like there's negativity, and then there's the light side, but without the darkness there is no light. It's kind of the balance. But I know every human being is full of light and full of darkness to be who they be. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and so my whole thing is just like I try to what is it, like, amplify or embrace the light more than the darkness. So every time you see me, I'm always saying light side and stuff. And so that's just putting more light into the world. It's just me trying to contribute more light into the universe. Even if I'm just saying light side, I might be at my darkest and I'll still say light side. So that's just kind of that mentality. It's kind of like a motto, just like light side, just like kind of like car pie, but light side. Like it's good. It's a good thing. Yeah.
Too much, bro.
Bless.
Light side, yeah. You've done that since I've known you. You've done that for ages, eh? Light side.
Yeah, it's been light side with 3 eyes. You gotta remember the 3 eyes.
Okay. Oh, what's the? That's a good question. What is the significance?
For those people who are like, I don't know, it's quite spiritual. The third eye is like the pineal gland. And the pineal gland is like in the core of your brain. That's also like a intuition thing. But for those people who know about the pineal gland, is like it secretes. Shit, I'm getting a bit deep. You can cancel me if you want. But
Nah, gee, that's what we're here for, brother.
so like the pineal gland secretes a chemical called dimethyltryptamine, also known as DMT. And DMT is like a substance that's in 99% of every living organism. And like they say, before you die, um, your brain releases DMT. You can actually extract DMT and you can smoke it as like a hallucin, like a what is it? Like a psychedelic, sorry. And they say you can go to other portals and you can talk to your tupuna and you can access things that are higher than this vibration of life, like in terms of three-dimensional things. I know I'm getting real deep, but going back to the third eye is it's that intuition, it's that connection with the spirit. So when you see me spell light with 3 eyes, that's what it means. Yeah.
Wow, bro. Yeah, man. I only know as much of DMT as Joe Rogan has said. So
Yo,
yeah, bro. But crazy. That's what I didn't know that. So you got 3 guys. Light side.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gangster. Is there any more questions? Please unmute. Say your name
Yo,
for the brother MELODOWNZ.
yo, Alchemist here.
Turbo.
Sure.
Yep.
Yo, Melo, I got an interesting question for you, brother. So obviously you've got a platform. You're an amazing talent, bro. I really love how unique your music is, and just how authentic you are too, bro. Which is quite hard to navigate for a lot of people that kind of transition into a platform that has more notoriety to the public and stuff, right? So for you, I'm sure you get hella hit up to jump on projects to wear your bro stuff and all these things. But for yourself, like, how do you navigate being true to yourself? How do I frame this? Like, for example, if your friend was to come to you and he was like, "Yo, support my brand," but you don't align with the brand, or you felt, just being from a business standpoint, from whatever other standpoint there is,
Yeah.
how do you navigate having that conversation with your brother, like, in terms of, I don't even know how to frame it.
I think I know what you're saying. I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a really good question, bro. Because I feel like me, Kings, the other brothers that are into the music or have some kind of platform relate to this because it happens to us all the time. And
Yo,
like
I was gonna say something after you said to me for sure.
yeah. So I get heaps of messages like, oh, hey, bro, would you be keen to wear this? Or can I send you my brand? And to be honest, when I first started, I was like, yo, sending my Addy every day. And I was getting all these all these AS color crew necks with different screen on them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, yo, this is cool. I'm getting some free clothes and stuff. And then it got to the point where I was like, do I even like these clothes? And this is no malice to anybody that sent me anything in the past, but I was just like, what even? Like, I don't even like these. I'm only saying yes because it's free. And then I got me thinking about how much we get paid by these big corporation companies to put things on our story. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
these people are doing amazing jobs locally and sending us stuff, and we're just posting it on our story because we're getting it for free. And so I felt like for a minute there, I was getting used as just like a local billboard for people.
Yeah, 100.
And I was being quite, like all good with it, like, yeah, that's cool. But then it got to a point where I was like, from now on, when I got management, and then he started kind of showing me what my worth is in terms, because before I was just like taking gigs for this much, doing this for that much, like I was just doing it for the love, which is fine. But there needs to be a point when you're like, shit, I'm a business now. My name holds like worth, and you need to know the worth, and not in a narcissistic way where you're like, I'm worth
Yeah.
this much. You know what I'm saying? It's like we've been at this for so long that we deserve to be worth this much. And so when people started sending me shit, I'm just like I'll say like I either won't reply with the most like being the most like with the most utmost respect, or but if
Yeah.
it's my boy from the hood that I grew up with, and like they're like, gee, I'm doing this brand, it's like 100. Like there's no way I'm not gonna share that. Like even if I don't like the brand or whatever it is, as long as it's moralistically all good, I'll
Yeah.
like if it's my bros and he's got the rudest shirt and he's like, gee, please can you put this on your story? I'm gonna put it on my story because that's my boy for life. But if
Yeah.
it's like a random brand being like, hey, we'd love to send you some free stuff, I'd politely turn it down. Unless like there's something that aligns with me, or they're offering like a bag that's keen to feed my family, then that's when I'm like, yo. But I feel like for me, for Kings, he can talk on his own behalf, but like I feel we're at that point now where we do have a bit of leeway in saying yes or no, or we want this much or whatever, or if it doesn't align with us, we don't have to take it. So
Yeah.
does that answer your question, my brother?
Yeah. Or just on the back of that, if I can hijack that, is like for you, bro, like kind of as a two-part question. Do you like, because for me, bro, personally, I think you could break through to the American market, man. You have such a unique sound. You kind of, for me, you carry the same essence of what Bone Thugs was when they came out. Bone Thugs and Harmony, they like you got, for me anyways, I get the same type of energy, but in your own unique flavor. And so for you, like obviously progressing throughout your career, how do you manage or navigate that whole self-worth? Because sometimes, right, like as people, we generally tend to look at our flaws, or we compare the worst of ourselves to the best in other people, and we're always looking at where we need to improve. So sometimes we neglect to celebrate ourselves, right? So how do you kind of like, as you're elevating, as you're growing, and adding to yourself, to not that stuff makes you more worthy, but how do you navigate that self-worth aspect with the business side of things? Because I know that I've struggled with that in the past. Yeah.
Man, bro,
Yeah,
who
Jay,
was this
great
guy,
question, bro.
G?
Yeah, Alchemist, on.
Who was this guy, bro? Man, Bone Thugs are bro, I grew up on Bone Thugs. Like, man, to hear that, bro, like, without even having to say anything about Bone Thugs, bro, I really appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man.
Oh, me.
Yeah, that's because that's my whole inspiration. That was the reason why I started getting the braids and all that kind of stuff. So you could probably see the inspiration behind Bone Thugs and that. But fuck, wait, what was the question? I think one of the things was like probably oh shit, bro. What? Sorry, G, I'm lost there. What?
No, that's all good, right? So pretty much in a nutshell, man, like, you know, how do you navigate your self-worth with because a lot of the times, right, like we know, I know that you're conscious enough to know that you are worthy.
Ah,
Um
yeah, I got
of
you.
all this thing too. But when you're in business, your worth is based upon the value
Yeah,
and how much attention that you have on you. So as you start to pick up this notoriety, and like when I saw you do that song with Denzel Curry, I was like, oh shit, you know
yeah,
what I mean? I was like, God damn, because I know like that in terms of brand value, that goes up too.
yeah.
The more you start doing projects for these people, so as your
Mm,
stock rises within the business, I guess, acumen side of it, how do you navigate that with your own self worth? Because like you might have been doing shows, I don't know, I can't speak for you, but for example, you
yeah,
might have been doing shows like that you get paid $1,000, and now it's like 10 G's, you know what
yeah,
I mean? But like
yeah.
even though you can receive that, there's the receiving and feeling worthy of it, are kind of two different aspects of the same process. So
Ah,
how
yeah.
do how do you navigate that?
Man, I got you, bro. Shit, what a question, man. If I could unpack that, if I could try to, like, I think, man, one thing that came to mind while you were saying that was the Kanye West documentary. You guys seen it? You guys seen it yet?
Oh, I
Hell
haven't.
yes.
Yeah, bro. I watched that, and one thing, like, obviously, I'm not like nowhere near as big as Kanye West or whatever, but man, like, wow, that shit, like, his beginning journey days when he wasn't getting noticed and stuff like that, but you could see in his eyes the worth that he already knew he was worth it. You know what I mean? Like, he already knew he was worthy, and you could see the confidence in his eyes, on his face. That was the beauty of that documentary before he had even popped off. I feel like that's what every person behind like their passion has, and that's something that I've always had. Like, I've always thought I was worthy of being up there with, like, on the main stage of Rhythm and Vines or whatever. I always knew I was. But back when I was getting paid $400 and had to pay my own way to Rhythm and Vines back then, like, I was like, this is just a stepping stone for me. Like, this one day I'll be on the main stage, and I'll be negotiating my fees to a point where it's like, yeah, this is solid kind of thing. So yeah, I've kind of just always had that knowing. I think we all do, you know what I mean? Just that self confidence. But I did one thing to, like, bounce off that question is when I went to LA, having that going off your question is, like, I had imposter syndrome when I went in the studio with Denzel, what was it, with DJ Khalil, because I pulled up to the studio, and, like, he's got plaques with Kendrick, Corday, like, Pink, like Drake. All these plaques were on his wall, and it's my first time in LA. It's my first session. I just got off the plane. I just tried like the strongest green tea you can try in LA, and I'm paranoid as hell. And I'm like, bro, I'm going in the studio with DJ Khalil. Like, this is Dr. Dre's prodigy. Like, and I had this fucking, like, imposter syndrome. I was telling my bro Baz, he was with me. I was like, bro, what am I doing here? I started sketching out. Like, I don't want to meet the guy. Like, I didn't even want to go in the studio because I felt like, why does a person from Avondale, what am I doing here? There's millions of people in LA that deserve to be here, kind of thing. Why am I here? And then I just had to kind of get my grip, get it together, and be like, shit. I started in the garage with Cody's. I've been grinding. We deserve to be here. So that answers, and it's just just keeping that kind of faith.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks, man. Could I? Sorry, guys. I don't want to keep up. I'll shut up after this. Can I ask one more question? This one's probably the most important one.
Go ahead, G.
For me, being Samoan Fijian, being from South Auckland, like, I understand what it's like growing up with the culture, heavily influenced by Polynesian culture, and I know you're about your peoples, bro. You know what I mean? I'm with that too. But there's this interesting thing that I find myself navigating sometimes, and I feel I've come to a place where I've really, like, cool, like, I'm okay with the way that I view this. But for yourself, like, I love that being Polynesian makes us unique. Even being Maori or, like, or Indian, like, we have our cultures, right? Being from whatever culture makes us unique in a lot of ways. And I know that we all grow up with this sense because when you've had the same struggles, like, your boys are eating corned beef and noodles with you and rice, like, the struggle food and all that stuff.
Yeah, G.
Like,
Yo.
when you go through together, that builds this bond, that builds this brotherhood that's deeper than, like, all this other business stuff and money and stuff. But at the same time too, it can also become a cage if you're not wary of it, right? Because I feel like a lot of the times, and this is just my own perspective and my own opinion, don't mean to step on anyone else's toes, but for me, like, like, they make all these Pacific awards, and I'm like, bro, why do we need a Pacific award? Why can't we be the best of the best? Like, why do we have to kind of have our own category for us to shine? Like, are we not good enough to kind of stack up against the world's best? But I also see within being Polynesian and navigating the space of entrepreneurship for myself and all these things, it's like, I also know that, like, I'm proud to be Polynesian. I'm proud of where I'm from, but there's also this kind of underlying mentality that some of the boys can't get past, of, like, getting out of the hood, or the hood mentality of, like let's, because essentially this idea or this concept we grew up of being, like, loving, is that we have to, like, give everything of ourselves and be left with nothing in order for our peoples to have something. But then when you actually step back and look at it, none of us have anything at the end of the day. And we can't build. We can't build out of the situations that we're in because we're so busy trying to survive. And I've kind of come across, like, this kind of position where, like, am I really helping my people, or am I just prolonging their suffering? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so it's like, because I might help them for this week, but does that actually help them overall? And so for yourself, like being
Sorry,
of
my J
Polynesian,
Alchemist brother. Can you round it up a bit? Sorry, J, we got about
yeah,
20
yeah,
minutes.
no, that's cool,
Is
cool.
that good?
So being of
Shout my brother.
Polynesian descent, yeah, cool. So being of Polynesian descent, bro, how do you navigate that? Like, I know what space, you know what I'm talking about. How do you
Yeah.
navigate that?
Man, what a who is this guy, man? Shit. This guy like the motivational speaker, bro. Shit. That man, I appreciate you, bro. Straight up, man. That's some real shit. To be honest, bro, it's like we're only human, you know what I mean? And we can only do what we do. And I feel like my contribution with the art that I use, I always have the intention already instilled in me. It's in my DNA. So like when I make music, it's automatic. Like the community have the option to, roll with it or they don't. But my intention is to be for the community. And I feel like with everything going on in the world, that small contribution is a contribution. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like if I'm just dropping a song that might be about violence, but a kid from the hood wants to do music because of it, it's still making a positive impact on them, regardless of what I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? Although like, I'm not trying to talk about violence, that was just an example. But then there are so I guess like a contribution is a contribution, and that's my contribution to my community is I'm trying to open doors where people can see me and be like, oh, this dude's made it out of Avondale. He's gone to LA. He's like, doing shows with King, Sons of Zion. I could do that too, So I feel that's enough for me. Although there's a lot of work to be done, and I'm working in other spaces, creating community workshops and stuff at Wesley Community Center, Mount Roscoe, and other things around different hoods. That's my other contribution. But for the most part, man, that I feel that's enough. And for anyone listening, it only takes something small like that to make a big change if you look at the bigger picture. But then there's other problems where I'm doing what I do, and then I come back to the hood, and people that are still in the hood are calling me fake because I'm out the hood. So it's like you can never win, bro. Like there's always people, a lot of people from Avondale be talking shit about me because I'm out the hood and they don't see me in the hood, or like, bro, what work have you done in the hood? And it's like, bro, the work I do in the hood is, trying to set examples and like building communities, like doing community workshops and shit like that. That's my contribution for putting in work in the hood. Like I don't need to go and, slang whatever at the complex anymore. I don't need to like put on work with no gangs or anything. You know what I mean? This is my version of putting on for the hood these days because I'm older, I'm wiser, and that's just like a small mind mentality that we're trying to break out of in the first place. So there's always gonna be haters, brother.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for answering my questions, eh?
Bless.
Bro, shut up, G. I wanted to add one thing onto that, bro, and to say, the line between cocky and confidence is drawn on the perceiving end. So, like, you could be the most confident person in the world, but if someone perceives that as cocky, that is what it is. Vice versa, if they think that, you look at Floyd Mayweather and you look at people like that who have, strived and succeeded, levels beyond people, not just financially, but spiritually and all these things. And so, you just got to carry yourself as well as you can, as true as you can. And yeah, bro, Alchemist, bro, some great questions there, man. And sorry to cut you off. It was just to give people some more time. Okay, yeah. Is there any more questions for the brother, MELODOWNZ? Well, we're here. We've got about 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yo, Kings.
Yo.
What I wanted to say from that is like one thing I loved about you, bro, is like, like you've never been one to be like, fuck, I'm the fucking best. Like, you hear that in the music, but then it's like, bro, you see your studio and you got all them awards around your speakers. And I remember that time I pulled up and we did that song together. You had like all these awards just stacked around your room. And I feel that's the validation that you give back to those people, like without being cocky, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you prove that you're the best by, getting these accolades and collecting all these things and traveling the world and shit. But yeah,
bro, thank you, bro. And I believe I got to a point similar to what you're saying. Like, you get to this point where your funnel was so big and you're trying to accept everything. Like you're saying, you get deals. People are like, yo, wear my clothes, and all these kind of things happen, and you become quote unquote the man really quick. And just to share this with the community, I had the biggest song, quote unquote, again, the biggest song in New Zealand. Don't worry about it at the time, and I had no money to pay for gas. That's just the reality. Like a lot of people are like, yo, you must be killing it now, yo, and I'm like, nah, bro. Like I'm gonna kill my damn self. This sucks. Like that's the reality of it. So I think what I've learned in the last 2 years, and even what I think you're touching on, is like I've started to walk with my back, shoulders high, back straight, because I believe who I am is who I am, and it doesn't matter who believes otherwise. That studio you're talking about is like it's for me. It's so I can look at it and go, man, me and you came up on the benefit. We came up from the same place. We're on the Benny. I was a solo dad at the time. And those reminders that, like, man, look how far we came. That's really all it's for. But it's not to gloat. It's just to look at it and smile and keep going.
Yeah, hard.
Yeah, my G. Is there any more questions for the bro? We've got about 10 minutes. Oh, Bronson MELODOWNZ.
My G, I go on.
Bro.
Oh, you got it. You go, bro. You got it.
Oh, bro.
Just your name, please. Oh, Jackie. Yo, gotcha.
Jekyll the Shackle, bro. I just want to run it back a bit. You're talking about imposter syndrome by the Mellow,
Yo.
and I kind of want to sort of like my question is sort of based around that. In the New Zealand space, like in the New Zealand industry, bro, I find I for whatever reason I've managed to find myself in spaces where I feel like I'm just the biggest imposter. And one space I managed to work myself into, bro, was a Spark session where I met you,
Yo.
and there was a whole bunch of corporate people in suits for a Mikey Dam session, bro. And I just wanted to sort of say, one of the only person that made me feel comfortable in that space was you, Mello, just by initiating conversation. And I guess my question from that is what advice would you give to someone who is trying to navigate, the industry in those settings without feeling like a total imposter?
Man, I appreciate that, bro. And yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, man. I feel like that all the time, especially when I'm having meetings with, big corporate organizations, and they're on some other shit, and I'm just like, when you come from where you come from, it's like, damn, I'm the only person that comes from here in this kind of space. And that has led me to think I'm, an imposter. Like I feel like I don't belong here. But at the same time, when you're the only person that comes from that space, it makes you the most unique and the most special, and in my eyes, the most powerful person in that room. So for anyone that's listening and gets in those situations, it's kind of flipping the script from being the imposter to the most powerful person in the room. Because 9 times out of 10, when we're in those things, those meetings are about you. Like when I go into the corporate settings, it's not like, I'm working with this person on this. They want to work with me on something. They see the value in me. So if corporate organizations are seeing the value in you, or whatever the situation is, then we need to see that value in ourselves.
That's beautifully answered, bro.
My G.
Jacko, you still there, brother?
Yeah, brother. True.
Oh, you catch that?
Yeah, bro.
Sharp, bro.
It's mean, bro.
Yeah, just that self-determination, self-belief, G. I know it's on some spiritual shit, but just think about your ancestors and how far they came, to get to where we. Yeah.
I appreciate that, bro.
Bro, Mello, I just want to say as well, Jackal the Shackle is a huge fan of New Zealand music, bro. You would have seen him in your crowds. Every time I'm playing, or not even just me playing, I'll kind of see him in crowd photos that people upload. He is a true fan of New Zealand music, bro. So he's there. When he says he's there, brother.
Yeah. For our conversation, bro. You're hard to forget, my brother.
Yo, yeah, man. And I just want to touch on that imposter syndrome as well, real quick, if I can, man. Bro, I'm sure everyone's seen that awesome Air New Zealand video that was the best Air New Zealand video ever. So I got to be a part of thing, right? But the imposter syndrome was, I'm a dude from the hood. I'm a dude from Beach Haven, and I'm sitting in this room, like you said, with these corporates, representing myself. Representing myself for, you know, thousands of dollars at these guys who I don't think owe me anything. Yeah. Oh, yo, Dallas G, turn your mic over. Mute up. What a sad guy. I was just about to tell a deep story. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm in this business meeting with corporates, and I'm wearing stubbies and jandals like straight from the hood, and I'm trying to negotiate thousands of dollars for this national carrier. So that imposter syndrome hit hard, and it hits hard always, and we just got to remember to stay strong throughout those negotiations and be us, because like you said, they want us.
Yeah, man. That's for real, bro.
Yeah, my G. We got room for about 2 more questions. Anyone want to unmute, say your name, ask me questions?
Hey, bro, it's T Jeweler.
There he is. Go hard, brother.
Hey, so thanks so much for the opportunity to speak. I was just wondering, what animal would you bring into the Beaver? Like, would you? Oh, yeah. What? Sorry. The question is, yeah. What animal would you bring after the Beaver's release? So, which would be your what would say spiritual animal?
Man, what a question. I think just going off like the way I live my life and the way that I'm late to like all my meetings and like I procrastinate all the time, I'll probably bring a sloth into the mix.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, they're like the most calm, slow. Like if you see a sloth eating or climbing a tree, then you'll understand what I'm talking about.
They can swim faster.
Can they?
Yeah, bro. I think they're
Holy,
faster in water than on land.
bro, learn things every day.
Bro, I didn't even know sloths could swim. You just blew my mind.
Same, G. I thought they're like koalas, kind of like fuzzy.
My G, bro. Thanks for that, T. Jeweler. Yeah, probably 1 or 2 more questions, guys. Please feel free to jump up, and then Melo's gonna end it with a 8-hour rap. Now I'm playing.
Eesh.
Anyone got any questions? Unmute. Say your name.
Kia ora, Amy Queen here.
Hey, Amy, answer question. Let's go.
Hey Melo. So I just wanted to know, as a musician and as a upcoming Eager Beaver NFT holder, I just wanted to know what you as a musician are you going to do to incorporate this NFT into your craft, to add value to your individual NFT under yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That question. I think as an artist and stuff, I just started like another Instagram. It's called Carver Thug, and it was just meant for my like trillionaire thug, just to I was gonna try and add it more value, but then I was like, nah, this should be a digital space for like all my NFTs or like all my side projects that I got going. So I'll probably push it hard on there. And like what I've been doing is I've been trying to create narratives around, like for example, like for my one of my thugs, I've created him into a Carver thug. So like I've like made a story up behind him, and so I'll probably do that with like my Beaver NFT and the other ones that I'm gonna be minting. And also like when we perform at like festivals and stuff, we have big visuals, you know what I mean? So that's an opportunity for me to add it to my live set in terms of the visuals, like make it move around and shit, get it animated involved and whatnot, and make it a thing. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for that. I feel like that answer will help a lot of people amongst our community to start creating their individual roadmaps for when they finally mint their Eager Beaver NFTs. Because it's never too early to start planning, the journey. So thank you for that. And that's me. Thank you.
Easy. And just to add on to that, like to be honest, when I'm into my trillionaire thug, I was very, very disheartened. Like I got the most, like if you guys look at my little profile right now, it's like my thug, and I was like, fuck, out of 7,777 I the cutest one in the world.
You
And
know what?
then
You
I
know
was just,
what? I feel you on that. Hey, but this is the lesson. You know, whether you get a unique or a rarity or a common, the thing is, it's about us as human beings, to create and add that value to our individual.
yes,
So that, you know, that's the whakatauki or the whakaaro that we need to push out there to everybody, is to, you know, don't get disheartened by the status of your NFT, because at the end of the day it comes down to you as the owner to create and add that value. So, you know, there's always a mission for each of us, and we incorporate that 100% into our NFTs to bring them through to the metaverse when we enter that space. But yeah, no, I feel you on that, brother. I feel you.
yeah. That's exactly what you said, sis. Like, even if you got the most ugliest beaver or ugliest thug or whatever NFT you mint or whatever, you can create value to it. You know what I mean? Um, it's like, you know, someone might not have the best looks in the world, but they might have the most genuine heart. And that's how you have to look at having your NFT. It's like, it's not what it looks like. It's it's the drive behind the person putting the value into it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Exactly. Like, you got to think about the bananas. You know, how do we make the best banana? Um, what the fuck are they called? Banana banana cakes.
The bananas.
Use like
Banana.
rotten banana to make a great banana cake, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Oh, yo,
Exactly.
that's it. Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
I was
We
like,
don't.
where's Amy Queen going with this?
yeah. Kind of like it's kind of like reverse psychology. Like, all the boys are like, "Gee, your thug's rude as," and then I put on my cover thug. I put like a wrap over my cover thug picture on the cover thug Instagram, and then like people were like, "Bro, your cover thug looks mean," but really it's rude. Like, come on, let's be real. My cover thug looks rude as, but you know, it's the value that you put behind it.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, it's a whole new world. I don't understand.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
I think we got someone in there. Can you mute up, brother? Someone in there. So sorry to cut you off, Amy Queen, but yes, 100%. That's
All good, brother.
the idea that, like, bro, you kind of nailed it on the head. Like, you look at TikTok, and some people may not have great talents, but they use their not great talents to gain following just from being, you know, authentic in themselves. Might be someone who just does a cartwheel a day. I saw this dude who was cooking perfect eggs every day, perfect eggs, and bro, he's got like a following of 100,000 people just watching him cook this perfect egg every day for like 1,000 days.
Bro, can you link me that? I need to see that.
Yeah, Jay, come and yeah, I don't. I was gonna say come along, but to what? But yes, I'll send you a link. Oh man, bro, we got time for about one more question, and then we're gonna leave the floor. So anyone want to jump up, just unmute and say a kia ora. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. I got one more.
All right, I got us.
Yo.
Jumping on the first, jumping in the last. True, I know it's blockchain Māori. Hey, brother Mello. I remember. I can't remember where I found out, but I do know that you are from up north, bro, and you're whakapapa Māori.
No.
Any thoughts about dropping a bit of a track for the far north or what?
Yeah. Shut up, brother. Yeah, bro. I done my whole te reo. Oh, not te reo, sorry. Māori journey. For those that don't know, I'm half Samoan, part Māori, but I got raised more on my Samoan and my Kiwi side in Avondale. And so I was kind of disconnected with my Māori side. And so last year, 2 years ago now, almost 2 years ago, I did this project that Kings was a part of it too, called Waiata Anthems. And for my documentary, we went up north and I went back to Kaikoi and, you know, learned my whakapapa and stuff. And yeah, it was a beautiful experience. And yeah, bro, that's definitely a goal for the future, is to do some kind of anthem for the Kaikoi hooligans up there and all the G's and that, you know. So yeah, shout brother.
Tough, mean, solid.
Me, my G. Man, bro, 1 hour, man. 1 hour with you, bro. It's been you're the man, bro. Energy, your light side is always shining. Is there anything you want to leave the community with, brother, before we sign off?
I just want to thank you, bro. Thank you and everybody behind this project, bro. Like it's a very positive thing, and it's very forward thinking in terms of our people and creating opportunities for people like myself and other people that want to get into the NFT space, and just like all around, just I hope everyone's doing well and keep on living the fullest you could live. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Gee, bro. Thanks for coming in, man. And honestly, like I said, it's nice to be able to chat. I know we've kicked it, but it would be nice to kick it more because I know we've come from a similar struggle and similar upbringing. So, brother, thank you, man. Thank you for coming. Could you guys unmute one time and just make some noise one time, bro, please?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, mahalo.
And that's us,
Thank
man.
you.
Much love, guys. Shout out for the Eagle Beavers coming through. Shout out to MELODOWNZ. We out. Much love.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.